Zane Truesdale would be so proud. Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Video. So we just got some new cards revealed that are coming to Rush Duel, a very familiar archetype, and that is Cyber Dragons. That's right, Cyber Dragons, which actually we've known about for a while, are coming to the game of Rush Duel. We're not sure if they're ever going to come to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush anime. I really hope they do, but that remains to be seen. But we got about 6 or 7 new Cyber Dragon cards that are confirmed to be coming to Rush Duels. Now, some of these are going to seem very familiar, and others are actually brand new to the Cyber Dragon archetype. So without further ado, let's just get right into it, and you can already see the beauty of the Overrush rarity, which basically shows the monsters popping out of their card artwork, and that is the rarity that this Cyber End Dragon has. So Cyber End Dragon is leading the charge. It's actually, I think, identical to its OCG TCG counterpart, a 4,000 attack point behemoth, but the only problem is you need 3 Cyber Dragons to summon it. But keep in mind, the way that you fusion summon in Rush Duels is different. You need to have all of the materials on your field, so you need 3 Cyber Dragons on your field. If you're able to get that and you get Fusion in your hand, you are able to go into Cyber End Dragon, which has a monstrous 4,000 attack points. In Rush Duel especially, that is an insanely high amount. It's like maximum value, and its effect is the same as it is in the TCG. Its attack pierces. It's how Zane was able to beat Judai the first time they dueled in GX, and it keeps its effect here in its Rush Duel variant. We are also getting Cyber Twin Dragon with that same rarity coming to the Rush Duel game. Same exact card as in the TCG, 2 Cyber Dragons in order to fusion summon it. Again, they must both be on your field, and this card can attack twice per turn. But now we have a Rush exclusive Cyber Dragon, which is super cool. So the materials are the same as Twin Dragon. You need 2 Cyber Dragons in order to fuse it, and this is Cyber Rush Dragon. The requirement for the effect: if your opponent controls a monster, you can activate this. The effect: draw until there are 5 cards in your hand, then choose and send 4 cards from your hand to the graveyard. Also, you can special summon 1 machine monster from your hand face up. So essentially, you are getting rid of your hand, which is a good thing, by the way, because in Rush Duel, you always draw until you have 5, so you want to try to have as little cards as possible in your hand when your turn comes to an end. This effect is quintessential to Rush Dueling because you're going to have 5 cards in your hand. You can special summon a machine-type monster from your hand, so maybe if you're running like a Jinzo, or if you just get a regular Cyber Dragon, you can get that onto the field, and then you dump the rest of the cards into the grave, so your hand is empty. A very good Rush Duel effect there, and a really good monster, and that effect, you can special summon 1 machine monster, could be used to special summon Cyber Assault Dragon, which is coming to Rush Duels. This monster's requirement says you can activate this by shuffling 1 Cyber Dragon from your graveyard back into your deck, and as its effect, you can choose 1 face-up level 8 or lower monster your opponent controls with 2,400 or more attack and destroy it. There are a lot of level 7, 2,500 attack point monsters in Rush Duel, so again, this seems like a pretty good target monster for Cyber Rush Dragon's effect, since you can special summon this if you have it in your hand using that effect, and then you can use this monster's effect to pop an opponent's monster that meets these requirements. So pretty good synergy there. Then of course we have Cyber Dragon. You have to have Cyber Dragon obviously in a Cyber Dragon archetype, and the effect stays the same. If your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand to your field face up. What's interesting about this effect is it doesn't say once per turn, so I'm assuming if you have like 2 Cyber Dragons to start and your opponent controls a monster, if you're going, let's say, second, you could special summon both of these Cyber Dragons, right? I don't think it's a once per turn, so as long as you're going turn 2, or it's later in the duel and you're not going first turn, it might not be too difficult to get a few Cyber Dragons onto your field to go into End Dragon, Twin Dragon, or Rush Dragon, any of those 3 fusion monsters. We also have Cyber Griffin, which is another brand new Cyber Dragon monster coming to the game of Rush Duels. The artwork for this is sick. It's literally like a metal griffin. I love it. The requirement for this is you can activate by sending 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. Choose 1 face-up level 5 or higher machine monster you control. During this turn, that monster cannot be destroyed by your opponent's traps. If that monster is light, you also draw 1 card. So all the Cyber Dragon fusions and Cyber Assault Dragon and Cyber Dragon are light monsters. So if you're playing this in a pure Cyber Dragon build, you will get that bonus of drawing 1 card. And again, you can choose Cyber End Dragon, Cyber Twin Dragon, Cyber Rush Dragon, Cyber Dragon for the effect to activate. So a lot of options there with Cyber Griffin. Then we also have Proto Cyber Dragon. This is important because this card's name is Cyber Dragon. So if you can't get the level 5 original Cyber Dragons onto the field, you run 3 of these Proto Cyber Dragons, and that gives you 3 more options to get quote-unquote Cyber Dragon onto your field to try to go into your big fusion boss monsters. We also have a spell card Cyber Entry. If you have 3 or more light machine monsters in your graveyard, you can activate this. Choose 1 Cyber Dragon or Proto Cyber Dragon in your hand or in your grave and special summon to your field face up. During this turn, monsters you control cannot attack except light machine monsters. And again, Cyber Dragons are all light machine monsters. So as long as you're running this in a pure Cyber build, that monsters you control cannot attack effect or limitation is not really going to bother you here. So that's a really good card in order to maybe later in the duel get a free Cyber Dragon onto your field. Then the other card, the last card, a legend card, which means you can only run 1 of in your deck, is Power Bond. We know what Power Bond is, but the reason this is crazy is this card lets you send monsters from your hand as well to the graveyard. So like the traditional fusion in Rush Duel, you have to fusion summon by sending monsters from your field to the grave. Power Bond, which again is a 1 of in Rush Duel, you can use cards in your hand. You fusion summon a machine monster, that monster gains attack equal to its original attack, and then of course during the end phase, you take damage equal to how much attack was gained by this effect. So if you use this to get Cyber End Dragon on the field, your Cyber End Dragon will have 8,000 attack points, which is insane, and it will do piercing. However, if you do not finish off your opponent, you will take 4,000 points of damage in your end phase. It is a super risky move, but I'm happy that one of Zane's most important cards from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX is coming with the Cyber Dragon archetype. So guys, that pretty much sums up all of the Cyber Dragon cards and support that we are getting at the moment in Rush Duel. Let me know your thoughts on this legendary GX era archetype coming to the game of Rush Duels. Let me know some other old nostalgic archetypes that you hope we see in Rush Duels, and let me know if you think there will be a character in Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush that uses the Cyber Dragon archetype. Thank you guys all so much for watching. A special thank you to my Platinum tier patron, Panther J, to my Diamond tier patrons, Jesse Wood and Latrell Smith, and to my Egyptian God tier patrons, Ccapacappuuu, Syn Cloud, and Kyle. Thank you to everyone who is a patron of mine or a YouTube channel member. You guys help me out tremendously. You help out the channel tremendously. And be sure to check out my YouTube channel membership feature and my Patreon for more channel exclusive perks. Be sure to check out my channel for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime content. I also stream over on Twitch. The link for that channel will be in the description. And once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you in the comments, and I hope you have an amazing day.